Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Abby and today I'm going to be sharing with you me putting together this Valentine's tag for a swap that I'm going to be hosting at my house, and the theme of it, or the title, is Babes with the Power. So it's kind of like Bowie, like David Bowie theme, kind of 80s girl empowerment. So I kind of put together the tag already, just like my clusters and my preliminary work. So I went ahead and I cut out the tags, and I ended up using another tag that I have. It was kind of like a little tag kit that was unmade. It was just the heart shape, and I cut out more heart shapes because I'm making two tags with this shape. And it was really simple. I just used some chipboard, and the chipboard that I get are just usually from backings from paper pads or packaging. So I tend to get my chipboard from there. I don't think I've ever bought chipboard, maybe at a de-stash sale, but never like at a store. So I cut out all my shapes. I have 6 tags, and I will be punching the hole in the corner, so they will be kind of like hanging at an angle. So I went ahead and did that. I cut out the 6 tags, and then I've also gone ahead and done some stitching all around each tag, so that because it's hard to do like a recording of that and it takes too long. So I went ahead and just did the stitching around each tag. I will be putting a paper on the back, like a what is it called, a printed paper, kind of like these, on the back, but I will not be decorating the back, just the front. So I did that, and then I of course kind of done my preliminary clusters of what I want on each tag. Each one of them will have a border of a trim, and I picked a different trim for each one, coordinating a little bit with the theme of each tag. I also have some other little pieces off to the side. So I have this shaker that I want to incorporate that I made a while back, probably sometime, maybe like a year ago actually. So I'll be using this in one of the tags. I also printed out all these girls and fussy cut them, and I'll be using them throughout the tags because it is kind of like girl empowerment, and I kind of want each one to have something like that. So I have all these there that I fussy cut, and I kind of put some like black Sharpie around the ends, so that way it makes it a little bit more clean cut, and you don't get all those like weird jaggedy edges from the scissors. And then I have rhinestones. I kind of put them on my phone case. Just all sorts of little rhinestones that I will be putting throughout of it. I have this little guy over here holding sequins that I will be gluing on there, and other little bits and pieces that I want to incorporate, like little resin pieces. I have chipboard, again, just digging into what I have in my storage boxes and just wanting to use all that stuff up. What else? I have some enamel dots, and then just random little pieces like these guys that I want to use. And these were pretty cute. They were gifted to me, and I thought about using some of these things. Like I love the little jacket, the watch, some other little things here that I want to incorporate into the tags. So just a bunch of layering. These two were gifted to me. I will be using those somewhere in there to incorporate a little bit of a shaker element. And then lastly, I have my Nuvo Dots that I got for Christmas. These are my only and first Nuvo Dots, and I will be using those throughout my tags at the end, just to add a little bit of different textures in there. And that's basically it. Again, it's just incorporating a lot of different goodies that I have, just using up my stash. It doesn't matter if it's the same collection or not, as long as it kind of coordinates and the colors go really well. That's kind of what I've been going for in all my projects lately, is just using everything that I have so I can bring in new things. But yeah, getting over that whole idea of just using the same collection for one project. I think when you put your own twist to it, it makes it different than everything else, and I really, really love that. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started by putting this all together. I will probably do a voiceover for that part, so that way I can just work and you guys can watch, and I can kind of speed it up because it can sometimes take a good while to do these things. I've probably been working on this on and off for a few days, and you know, I don't know if you're a crafter that works from beginning to end. I was kind of like that, but now I'm kind of giving myself some time to just work on it here and there. So enjoy the process, and I will get back to you at the end. Okay, let's get this party started. So what I'm going to do is adhere the pattern paper onto the chipboard, and I'm just going to be using some regular liquid glue for that. And then I will be adhering the trim around the border of the tag, but I will be adding it on the back of the tag, so not on top of the stitch piece, because I don't want to cover up all that work, right? And I'll be using hot glue for that and just slowly going around the edge. This will be covered in the end. You will see that I will use some paper to cover that up, and you won't see the ugly chipboard. It'll be nice and pretty and cohesive. So once I do that, I have the base for my tag, and I can continue by adding all of my layering pieces. If I have one suggestion for you, is that when you're starting a project, start by just grouping different things. So just giving yourself a blueprint, an idea of how you want your overall piece to look. And it doesn't have to remain that way. I went and added a bunch of different things to it. It just kind of gives you a headway, and it makes it easier when you're putting it together. And then of course, for my video's sake, I don't want you to be here for 3 days watching a video of me putting together a tag. But even if you're not recording, it's definitely very helpful, and it allows you to kind of just do things in a streamlined process. So I'm using a variety of different things, the chipboard, all the different little papers and ephemera, and then I'm using foam stickers to give dimension. Giving dimension really brings life to the project. And when I do kind of like the layering of pieces or little clusters, I just pull colors from the paper that I'm using. So I don't want anything that is too contrasting. I basically stay with a particular color scheme. I pull colors. So I'm adding gold pieces, and this pulls the gold from the ephemera guitar piece. And then just drawing different, drawing your eye to different things. I really love grouping colors and just kind of like coordinating all together. It's kind of like putting together an outfit. You just want to, you wouldn't put a green piece with this because it would totally clash unless it was like an accent piece. You know what I'm trying to say? You just take it little by little and adding different little things. I'm adding stars to draw attention to the different kind of like scribbles that the ephemera has. And I'm really loving how this turned out. Of course, taking off all those little glue strings that are being crazy, and then adding some little accent pieces with rhinestones and enamel dots, and just making it really, really fun and glamorous and cute. So this tag is pretty much done, just adding other little thingies here and there, adding texture and variety in the overall project. When I add my rhinestones or enamel dots, I'm pulling colors from those same ephemera pieces. So here I'm putting some black rhinestones to just draw in that black from the thickers that I'm using. And then here I am using my Nuvo Drops, and I'm adding some turquoise Nuvo Drops so it kind of becomes cohesive with the rest of my project, because I know that other tags are going to be having that. And then I'm going to be adding some Nuvo Dots on the guitar just to give it a little bit more texture and make it really cute. And I really love how that turned out. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The beginning process is the same for every single tag. I just add the glue and add the trim to the back of it. All right, now that the base is finished, I'm going to start with the layering. And here I am using that shaker star that I made over a year ago, and finally going to use it for the center of this tag. And that's why I mentioned that I grouped my tags and kind of had a blueprint, but I definitely changed things around. I changed the layout, and then of course add way more items. So you saw me kind of working with that layout again, and now adhering everything down. And as I'm working, I'm still figuring out whether I want to add other things and play around. And that's just basically my process. I have everything laid down on my table and see if something works, place it on there, and then decide, to glue it down if I like how it looks. And then for this particular one, I chose this girl because I thought she was perfect for the little cell phone. I just thought her face was so cute. So I'm just going to be adding different foam squares to again add dimension. And then I'm just figuring out again whether I want to add more pieces on there. I'm finally going to use these stickers on this one. I like this little sticker and its phrase. I thought it would be cute on here. Again, pulling in that gold from the trim. And then, of course, adding a crown on her. And it's just so cute. I don't know if you watched Riverdale, but the crown on her totally reminds me of one of the Riverdale characters. I totally forgot his name and I'm not going to remember. But if you do, let me know down below in the comments. And then I totally have to add this taco. And I knew I wanted to use that star. And so what I ended up doing was gluing the taco on the star. And I thought it was just so cute. Now it kind of makes sense. You know, each tag tells a story. So her look on her, she's totally looking at that taco. And then the word obsessed in the back draws in the color of the taco. So she's totally taco obsessed. And she's the queen of tacos. I absolutely love that. Finishing it off by adding the phrase and adding the little girl there from the All Heart collection and adding some sequins and just making it super fun, and just it totally makes me so happy. Again, adding Nuvo Drops, and I also added that blue glittery arrow, and those colors of turquoise totally brings your eye into the stitching that I did around the border of the heart. And you want to do that so that way the pieces that you put in a lot of work kind of stand out and your eye is drawn into it, you know, whoever's going to receive this tag. And I really just love having fun with it, adding all sorts of fun little things. And I really, really enjoy the process, and I hope you are too. And another one bites the dust. Here we have another completed tag, and I really love how it turned out. And now we're going to move on to the next one. Again, same process in the beginning, gluing it down and adding the trim. So we start our base and move on to the fun stuff. I really love this hot pink. I've had this trim in my stash for such a long time, but I'm always so scared of using such hot colors in my crafts. I usually gravitate to pastels, but I think adding some vibrant colors really works with this tag. And this one though did give me a little trouble, the little stinker, and you're gonna see why. I really love the phrase, the little glittery phrase, and then I couldn't figure out what girl I wanted to use on this, but I had to move that phrase. But we'll get to there when we get there. I'm adding all the different little goodies. I love the skate patch. It's one of those sticker patches. And I added it on top of a chipboard piece from the All Heart collection. And I thought it would look really, really cute. And then I definitely go with this girl because she is bigger. The other ones are smaller in size, and I think it needed a larger ephemera piece. So yeah, I go ahead and change things. Even though I'm gluing things down, luckily I was able to move things around, not too difficult. And you'll see why. So I went ahead and I'm still working at it, thinking, oh, you know, everything's good. I'm loving how it's working. But I go and change things around a little bit, and you'll see in a little bit what I do. I love that watch. I got it from that sticker that I told you I got from Hobby Lobby, or someone gifted to me. And here you go. I switched it. So I took off the hello from the right side and moved it to the left. I'm just taking off the little glue strings that were on there because I had to add glue to the sticky part of the foam squares, whatever they're called. But anyways, I used this chipboard piece that says beautiful, so now it says hello beautiful, and it works. So I couldn't put it the other way because otherwise it would say beautiful hello, which I guess is still good, but I really wanted it to say hello beautiful because it works with this really cute little illustration of the girl. And then I'm adding all these different little goodies on there. I like the little bow right on top of beautiful because it's dainty and cute. And I love that rainbow heart from the All Heart collection, just adding it on the back of her. And then now I'm going to be adding some of those little scribble stars to just kind of be cohesive with the rest of my project, as you saw in the first tag that we made. And then adding some, figuring out whether I want to add some rhinestones. So I'm going to be adding more of those little rhinestones that I added in the previous tags. Again, just to tie everything together. More Nuvo Dots to tie everything together, because when you're putting together a project, you want it to be one cohesive beautiful work of art. So I'm adding that, and this tag is pretty much finished. I love how it turned out. It definitely worked out to switch things around, and now you can see them, the first three. Here we go. And you can see how they're starting to look good all together. Now we're going to move on to this one. And this one, I absolutely changed everything. I mean, you're going to see, I had all this like blueprint, but I only used a couple of those pieces. Like I pretty much used only 5% of my blueprint, which is really funny. But again, same process in the beginning, gluing the trim and gluing the base or the bottom paper on there. And whoa, Abby, isn't that a completely different layout? Why, yes, it is. I spent maybe half an hour doing that. I even had to bring in Mr. Woofy to tell me, why isn't this working? And we figured out it was the black and white illustration. It was just way too, it wasn't vibrant enough for this tag. So I had to switch it out, and I used a different illustration that I cut out, and I thought it worked so much better. And I'm adding this gold beaded trim on top of the blue trim, and I think it just pulls in some of those golds in the tag that I'm going to be using, or the ephemera and chipboard that I'm using. And I really love the balloon. Yes, that is Maggie Holmes, but I'm not using it with Maggie Holmes. I just thought it was a really cute balloon. And I'm adding more of those alpha stickers, and it says, "Girl, you are golden," and more of the chipboard from All Heart, and the gold like glittery foam stickers. I forget what collection that is, but I got it from Tuesday Morning. And here is the girl that I chose. I thought she was really pretty, and it really worked with this particular tag. But I'm going to jazz her up by adding a cute bow on her. But I have to say, that illustration totally reminds me of Serena. I mean, do you follow her on Instagram? She's also on YouTube. It just reminds me of her, you know, how she's had her lavender hair. Super cute. And I definitely went and added a whole bunch of different stars because I thought it went well with the "Girl, You Are Gold." And those hearts, I ended up getting hurt. I don't know if you noticed that I have a band-aid now, but I ended up puncturing my finger with those. So blood went into this. Just kidding. It didn't go on the project, but I did bleed, and I had to go wash my hands and put a band-aid. So I didn't get it over everything and ruin my project. And anyways, I digress. And now I'm adding more of the Nuvo Dots and just going crazy with this, going ham and adding a bunch of different things because apparently I don't like blank spaces. I don't embrace the space like Tim Holtz says, but it's okay. I just think it looks so fabulous. I am embracing 80s and over the top and crazy, and I just think it works really well for this particular project that I'm doing. So yeah, there it is, another tag finished, and I think she's so cute. And now we're moving on to a different one. I think this is tag number 5? Yeah, it might be my second to last. Yes. And beginning process is the same as the other ones, adding the paper and then adding the trim on it. So that way we can start our base. And I really love this trim. I think it's so pretty. It worked out where I just used half the trim. I was kind of wondering how I was going to make this work, but it looks really, really pretty. And now this one, I kept the same as my blueprint. It looks really, really pretty. I loved everything about it. It's probably one of my favorite tags of this project. And it says, "Hey girl," and it's all about positivity and encouragement and woman power. So you have most of this chipboard is from All Heart, and I fussy cut some papers from All Heart because I don't have the ephemera. And I'm not worried about covering up the "You Are Here." I'm just adding it as a little Polaroid, and I love this girl. I knew she was going to be for this tag just because the colors, it really, really pulled all my colors together. I'm adding this little peace sign and adding it it's kind of like a pop out Polaroid, and I think it's really, really cute. She pulls in the tag really well because she has pinks and blacks, and it's just really pretty. And I'm adding this diamond acrylic piece on there for "Shine On," adding the phrase on there so it says, "Hey girl, don't compare, shine on." And like I said, every tag tells a story. So when you're working on a project, just think about that. You're telling a story. A picture says 1,000 words. I think that's what it says. I forget what the phrase is, but you know what I mean. And when you're doing a project, just think about that. What do you want to tell the person that you are sending this to? What story are you saying in your project? And I just love that. I'm a huge storyteller. I love writing, and this is kind of just a different form of expression. Again, adding Nuvo Dots and adding sequins and all sorts of goodies to make it cohesive with the rest of my project. And ta-da, another one finished. And now we are going to move on to my last tag, which this is actually going to be the first tag on my tag flip. And the reason being is that it's kind of like a cover tag, and it has a dimensional piece. It's going to have the little dome. This time though, I decided to add the trim on the top, even though it hurts my heart to cover up my stitching because I do work a lot on making that stitching, but it's okay. I just thought that the this particular trim and it being my top tag, I wanted it to be a little bit more out there, a little bit more outrageous. So I wanted to put that on the top, and I love the lips. I think they're so cute. Kind of doing my layout so I make sure to adhere everything properly. I made this cluster off camera. It's just a bunch of different things. So it's a patch and a little some of the stickers from the little stickers that I got from a gift, the ones that I showed you from Hobby Lobby. Adding sequins. In retrospect, I wish that I would added a lot more sequins in there because they kind of got adhered to the back of the stickers, but it's okay, it still works. I'm also adding some trim. I'm adding some of this really pretty sequins kind of turquoise trim to tie in the entire project, and it covers up any odd glue that happened when I adhere the dome. And now I'm going to be adding those alpha stickers for girl power because that is basically the title of this project. To finish off this tag, I'm adding some Enamel Dots and some Nuvo Drops and also some little chipboard stars to just basically tie in my entire project. And of course, there was a little bit too much blank space at the top, and I think that really finished off this tag. So here it is. This is my cover tag, and I think it's really cute. It's a lot simpler than the other ones, but that's okay. I didn't want it to be too much. I wanted the title to basically be the main part of this, and of course the sequence. So I'm just going to show you all the different tags that I made. I think they look really pretty. I love how each one is its own unique project and its own story, but yet it all works together. It all pulls in together because of taking that time to put in similar pieces on each tag. And I really love how they shine. I love how there's so much to look at, yet it's not like bonkers, you don't know what to look at. It's kind of just really pretty and very cohesive. Yay, we are at the end of this. Now we're going to be adding these hearts that I cut out, and all in pink. I just thought I wanted it to be cohesive. Originally I was going to put some print, but instead I glued those down on the back so it's not just cardstock and the ugly brown. And I also added these gold circles on there to just basically kind of be like reinforcers. And now I'm just going to be punching it with my crocodile, making sure that it's really centered on those little gold circles, and do that for the rest of them. Now that they're all punched, I'm going to be using this pink binder ring that I got from AliExpress about a year ago, and I'm going to be adding them kind of in a particular order. So there's pink and a lighter pink and then blue to kind of cut out the pink a little bit, and then pink again, and then gold. You know, it kind of just breaks it up a little bit and becomes cohesive. And I did make a little tassel. I didn't show it to you, I did it off camera, but it just basically coordinates well with the tag, and it has a cute star, and I added a bow on the star. But here it is, all completed, and I think it looks so pretty. It's super chunky. I still have some embellishments that I want to make for this, but probably going to be adding it on a different binder ring because I don't want it to be too chunky and it wouldn't fit the cute pink binder ring. But here is the first tag. And then the second one, really pretty. As you can see, they all have their own particular story, yet they're super cohesive. Here is the third tag. And then the fourth tag. Really pretty. I love all the illustrations of the girls. I think they bring everything together and just add a little, I don't know, something really pretty about having them on there. They're not of a particular line. I just printed them from Google and I just think they're really pretty. And then that's the final tag. I hope you really enjoyed this process. I know the video was a little long, but in reality, each tag took me about the length of this one video. I had to cut so much out and I had to speed things up a little bit. So I hope it didn't make you too dizzy. It's just in an effort to save time and not have you here sitting for hours. But yeah, so that's the completed tag. I really enjoyed this. I'm so happy to be creating for you guys again. And you know, instead of, I have been creating, but it's been off camera. So it's nice to be recording it and showing it to you guys because I really miss sharing with all of you. And let me know down below in the comments what your favorite part of this process was. If there's anything that you would want differently, check the description as well for any information. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye!